We are on live. All right, Mr. Daniel. Now, I don't want to butcher your last name because, you
Ah,
know, having a magnificent Brazilian last name. So,
Sobreira de Azevedo.
yeah, it just
just
rolls
as
off.
just Azevedo. It's the easiest of the two.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Daniel. So, you are a Brazilian, a Brazilian man that has made his way to Canada. You're a fitness coach and trainer. Once upon a time, an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
A soccer scout and a player manager, on occasion a nomadic traveler. You speak
Yes.
you speak three languages, I think four now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You hold 3 degrees, and I feel like we should probably throw in there that you're also currently an astronaut and the future president of the United States.
Well, I already have a few. I have a speech already written for it.
Your accepted speech.
Yes.
Uh, so, and
Oh
and
man,
most importantly, you're a husband and you're a father. So
that's the best.
that's the best. So let's start with where you're from, because obviously, with a wonderfully thick accent, you're not from Canada. Um,
Eh?
yeah,
No, no, no. I was born and raised in Brazil, and I came to Canada in '07.
yeah,
And fuck, man, it's 18 years already. So, came to Canada with barely any English, $565 in my pocket, right? And lots of energy to work, right? So
yeah,
that was fun. That was I've done a lot of stuff in my life, but like you said, being a dad, I think was the most challenging and the most exciting of all
yeah.
things
That
I've done.
best job in the world. It pays the biggest dividends. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, whereabouts in Brazil were you from?
So I was born in Recife. That's the capital of my state. It's called Pernambuco because in Brazil we call it state, not province.
Yeah.
But Recife is the biggest town, and but I lived in the my whole life basically in Olinda. That's the second biggest town in the entire state,
Okay.
right? So we're talking about the state the size of area wise probably smaller than Alberta,
Okay.
but you put about 10 to 12 million people in it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's a lot of people.
That's like what, 3 times the size, 3 to 4 times the size population wise of Alberta right now,
Yeah,
and a little
easy.
smaller than Alberta. That's a
Yeah,
lot. And then you add in jungle and mountains. Yeah.
yeah, it is. And the ocean, right? Because my hometown is right ocean front.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I was born and raised by the beach.
Perfect.
That was fun.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up in Brazil? Because you spent like your formative years, your 20s,
Yeah.
you know.
So, well, I did it in basically. I left Brazil twice, right? From 2001 to 2003, I was United States, and I went back to Brazil to finish my education, right? Because I started university and then I put up this university on hold. Went to United States for 2 years and changed, almost 2.5 years. Went back, finished my education, and then '07, I ended up coming to Canada. But growing up in Brazil was fun because it's hard to explain because my childhood it's was different from growing up here in Canada. I've seen my kids growing up like back in Brazil. I was bare feet all day on the beach, playing soccer, spearfishing, like you name it, right? And we had more freedoms. Things were more fun.
Yeah.
Back there we play soccer on the streets on the beach, right? And ride our bicycles. And my mom used to say, "Just come home and see the first light on the electric post in front of our house comes up, comes and so you have to be home, right? So before it gets dark,
Yeah.
technically by 5:45, because in Brazil by 6 p.m. it's already pitch black, right? But that was fun. I had a lot of we did a lot of going on growing up, right? We had way more freedoms than nowadays, and it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't as dangerous as
Mm,
today's, right? There's so much crap going on nowadays, and not even 10% of the crap that happens today happens back in the day. So I've never heard a lot of stuff that happens today. I've never even heard of growing
wow.
up. So
So did
yeah,
times changed big time?
oh, big time, big time. Even today now in Brazil, it's it's not as before, like it was before, right? Everything is so connected now with the internet and everything. This you plus there's the plus side, but there's a downside, right? There's a lot of good stuff on the internet, but there's a lot of bad stuff in internet as well.
Yeah.
And that also, how can I say, it compromised a lot this new generation in Brazil, right? So it's not the same.
Yeah.
Kids don't get dirty or
No.
scratches on their knees or elbows.
No.
They don't know how to fall. They can't climb trees.
Yeah. You don't drink from the garden hose and ride bikes
Oh
like
my
all day
god, yeah,
long. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of that is missing, and a lot of that is it's an unfortunate cost of technology. Is in order to get something, you have to give something up in some cases, and
yeah,
to have kids lose that is so bad. I
yeah.
just
I know.
I wish it was a different way. Sometimes I've said to some other people, sometimes I wish the 80s would just come back. Bring the 80s back. You
That's
know,
true. That's
you
true.
could between the 60s and the 80s you could you didn't have to, you made friends, and you did normal things, and now the new norm is having your face stuck into a screen or relating parts of your life to what you find on the internet. Oh, did you see a video? That's how we relate and connect, and it's kind of sad that that's what it's
It
changed
is.
to. Oh,
It is. And the more technology, more isolation at the same time,
yeah, yeah, very
because you have
true.
everything is accessible right here in front of you,
Yeah,
and there's no more human interaction, right? Like we're lucky. We grew up in a generation where we had the good from the past,
yeah,
but we also learned the new technologies of the future,
yeah,
right? So we have the good of both worlds. We know exactly what was good about back in the day, but we also know what's good and dangers about all this technology thing. So I think we have a better buffer, a better filter than the generation after us, because they had zero experience basically for what we did back in the day, having fun wise, like, as a kid wise. But you can't, like, for example, put any phone, old school phone, with that dialer, the spinning one. A kid cannot do anything
they
today.
don't know how to use it.
They have no idea,
It's pretty funny.
right? Yeah. So even my kids, like, we try to you know uh, 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 make them experience a lot of stuff, expose them to a lot of stuff. That's one of the reasons we went to Belize, for them to be exposed to a world they were never going to be able to see here in Canada.
Yeah,
But even though we exposed them to so many things, we didn't even scratch the surface when for the things we've done
yeah,
as a kid, right? So it is hard. It is hard.
yeah, yeah. We're definitely going to talk about the Belize thing because that's a wild story.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
so growing up in Brazil, and then somewhere along the way, I mean, your love of soccer has always been there, probably since you
Oh,
were a kid,
always.
right? And then
Yep.
somehow you got into martial arts, and you became a
Mm-hmm.
fighter for a short stint.
Yes, martial arts for me was basically, because back in the day there was no such a thing as ADHD. It was like hyperactive.
Yeah,
I was a hyperactive kid, right? So the only way to drain my energy was to put in sports.
yeah,
So I've done martial arts like since I was 5 years old. I did soccer. So in all together, right? So I started martial arts at 5. I done fucking jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, boxing, capoeira, all that stuff. And but I always played soccer.
Yep.
Always played soccer. Soccer's always was my first passion, right? But there was one time in my life, my mom said, "Hey, you choose soccer or school?" And I said, "Soccer." She said, "No, school." Uh, so I had to give up, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up going to school for my second passion, that was fitness,
Yeah.
right? So if I couldn't excel as a soccer player, I'm gonna try to excel as a trainer, right? So that's what I did. Even though in Brazil, like you went to school to be a school teacher or a university teacher, I had no talent for that or patience, right? I like to deal with people more in one on one and group training too.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the patience or the ability to train kids.
It's a tough
So
one. That's a tough one. Kids are yeah, you gotta have a special kind of patience, and it's interesting that you learn that young, because some people think, "Oh, kids is a great way to get into this field," and knowing at that age that that wasn't for you, obviously super important.
yes, that was very. There was a very. That was a fun way to find out because we were doing a presentation in school, right? And we're training to be teachers, university or school, public schools, and and I don't have the patience. I end up, people being disrespectful, and then kids being kids. Thank God there was a bunch of adults, but I threw a chair in that dude in the middle of the class. I and I said, "Yeah." My teacher looked at me. Everybody looked at me like, surprised by what I've done. And I said, "Yeah, I don't think this shit's for me." And my teachers, yes, definitely not then.
I had a teacher once. He was the he was our social studies teacher, and then he was also he would teach phys ed, and he was the wrestling
Hmm.
coach. So he was a big boy, and there was this one kid in class, and he was being a kid, being a punk, being a clown,
Hmm.
and I don't know what it was. This teacher just had it in for this kid, and right in the middle of class when he turned his back and the kids started laughing, he knew it was this guy. He picked up his desk with him in it and then shook him out of the desk onto the floor.
Yeah.
You can't do that no more, but it was funny back then.
I would probably be in jail if I was a teacher right now.
It's a good thing you chose the other direction. Yeah.
I chose to be a trainer because I can deal with people on a more one-on-one level.
Yeah.
And I only started doing group training after all that. After I became a better trainer, because to be able to deal with a group, I have to be good at with one person,
Yeah.
right? And then I started with partners, and then three people, and then I started a small group, and then I ended up training like 40 people, 40 plus people in a class. But but like I said, training with kids, you have to have a gift
Yeah.
to deal with somebody else's kids. I love my kids. I love kids who are not disrespectful, but I have zero tolerance for disrespect. Entitled kids in general, like this new generation,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why I couldn't do it at school, because I would be miserable. I would fail miserably, even though I like showing people stuff and teaching people stuff. But the way the school systems is today,
So different.
not a
So
not a
different.
chance, man.
And it's
Not a chance.
it's good that your kids are now. Are your kids homeschooled here? Or like,
Yes,
yeah.
Danny went to school this year after so many years, right?
Yeah.
So he's in grade 10, going to 11 now,
Oh
and
God.
yeah, too quick. And but he decided to, he wanted to try, right? But the two girls still homeschooled. They're not gonna, until they're like a bit older and they're not corruptible anymore,
Yeah.
right? Because they seem impressionable right now, right?
Yes.
So they can, it's very impressionable, a very impressionable age. So I don't want them to get poisoned by, you know, what the bullshit that's going on
Eh,
in our society right nowadays.
Yeah, you're starting to see a lot more families trying to find ways to homeschool their kids because they're tired of a system that
Yeah.
is it's a 200-year-old system that is broken. So no more. People are tired of
You know what? I don't find the system broken. I find the system works exactly the way they want.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's a very
100%.
effective.
Yes.
It's very effective. It's not broken.
That is the right way to put it. They made
Yeah,
it perfect.
they've made it perfect. The system isn't broken. The system, it's perfect. Just teach the wrong stuff.
Yeah, you
It's
fit in a box. Yeah,
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 right. So kids now, they're not taught to think anymore.
yeah,
They're taught to, someone has to think for them, right? There's no more critical thinking,
true.
right? There's only one truth now. There's not three anymore.
Yeah,
Like yours, mine, and the real truth,
yeah,
right? The truth. And so what do we did with our kids is critical thinking.
yeah.
We
So
showed
important.
them this. So what do you think of this? How do you resolve this, right? And everything that, for example, Danny comes home and tells us all the bullshit they were teaching him. Was like, why are you in school then? Like you learn way more watching Rick and Morty than going to a fucking school system here.
Isn't that sad?
It is sad, right? And the way that kids are not being taught anymore, they're being indoctrinated in schools. I can't, that kind of bullshit. I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm not a student either these days, because I'll probably be in a juvenile correction center, some shit like that.
Yeah. Another moment you get arrested for. Or,
Yeah,
yeah, this guy's from Brazil. Deport.
just deport him. Where's ICE?
So you focused on education and you ended up with 3 degrees, one in physical education, one in
Yeah,
kinesiology,
and
and
exercise
then
physiology.
exercise physiology.
Yeah,
And then you moved to Canada officially in 2007 with $565 in your pocket, and then
yep.
you just hit the ground running. What did you do? What was like kind of like your first job when you got here?
My first, well, my first job. So when I came to Canada with zero intention to stay, right? And I stayed in a homestay. So basically, Rebecca said my father-in-law, he used to rent rooms to international students. I paid in advance 3 months in Brazil, and then I came here, and I had just intention to stay, learn English for 6 months, back to Brazil, because my business back in Brazil was pretty good. Anyways, uh, once I came to Canada, I, you know, because the whole thing is I came to with $565 to Canada because I got shit stolen in Brazil on my way to Canada,
Oh,
at the airport in São Paulo, Brazil. That was my mistake. I made a mistake. I left my baggage for a split of a second. When I turned, gone. I had 5,000 cash, so I had $565 in my pocket because it was my wallet,
yeah.
but my other cash was in my handbag.
Ah,
Right, so my handbag was on stolen, so that's why I only had $565. But anyways, so what I did is, because I couldn't use so much money, I didn't want to call my mom for problems or call my uncle in the United States. I want to figure out shit myself, right? So I end up saving money, right? Because I couldn't spend much money uh, in bus tickets and whatever. So I was walking basically from East Van all the way to downtown every day to go to school.
Oh
walk,
my
yeah,
god.
walking there and coming back, yeah. And then on the in between, so I said, hey, my money's coming to an end, and I need cash to to make money. I need cash to eat, to survive. And I knock in every single door and say, hey, I wash your dishes, whatever the fuck you can find me, right? And I found a restaurant in downtown who I told the lady, hey, I trade for food, my work, and she's let me do it for a night. And then she liked me, and she only paid me with food. I said, no, 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 I'm good. She gave me another $5 to take a bus back home. And she's like, do you really want to do this? I only can pay you $8 an hour. I was like, I was fine with just food. And then she was feeding me, and then she started paying me. And then, of course, I worked under the table.
Yeah.
And then after a while, Rebecca and I, we got married. So we started entering, the paperwork process, whatever. But after the Ukrainian restaurant, I worked in Nando's for a few months while I was, improving my English. All this happened in about 6 to 8 months,
Yeah.
and then I started working for Gold's Gym, because that's when I was able to, my English improved. I was able to pay for my course that I had to take in Canada, despite all the degrees in Brazil. I had to have the Can't Fit Pro
Yeah.
here, right? And then so I was able to pay for the Can't Fit Pro. And then once I finished Can't Fit Pro, Rebecca had Danny, and then soon after I started working for Gold's Gym. I worked for Gold's Gym in Langley, BC, and in Burnaby as well. So both at the same time
Okay.
until I get hired. I got hired by Good Life.
Yep.
Yeah. So I never applied to work at Good Life. So I had two clients who were to be my clients in Gold's Gym, who knew the guy who owns Good Life, and they ended up contacting me. Technically, initially, I was supposed to work for the Good Life in Nova Scotia, not here in Alberta.
Oh, good thing
Yeah,
you didn't go to Nova Scotia.
I know, I know. They offered me the fitness manager there initially,
Yeah.
but they say, oh, you can probably can make as much money as a trainer in Alberta. And that's when I've never heard of Calgary before. The my I've heard it, but I never cared about Calgary or Alberta.
Yeah.
And then the lady said, "This Alberta is closer to BC. It's only 12 hours drive. Blah blah blah." And I said, "Okay, doesn't hurt to try, right?" That's when I went I came here to Calgary for a day. I flew here. I stayed in a hotel. I did my interview with Dion and Danielle at the time.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. So I did my interview, and since then they wanted to, Danielle said, "Okay, let's hire him," because if it wasn't for Calgary, I would be flying to Nova Scotia. But I ended up staying Calgary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
But that was fun.
it definitely worked out very well for you to be in Calgary because it was still it was still quite busy. That area of the city was very, very busy and growing.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't even know what the answer would have been in Nova Scotia. And, sure you would have gotten a fitness manager position, but you wouldn't have been making as much. Not even close.
And I probably would be able to afford all the stuff that I afford here in Alberta.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I couldn't
True.
have the gym. I couldn't have the fit body boot camp.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I couldn't meet the right people because, like, you know, uh, 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 we became friends. So we became, we worked together at the gym and at the fit body,
Yeah.
Andrew Fitness. Uh, for example, the people who are my business part today, I met him at Good Life.
Yeah.
That was Tony, right? So I think if Alberta, there was a reason coming to Alberta, because all that was able to set up the rest of my life, right? So everything that I own today basically started back there.
Yeah.
Good Life.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I mean, Calgary has more millionaires per capita than most cities. And,
True that.
and then there's even quite a few billionaires, and you would never even know that, if you're in the same room, you'd never know, you're all sitting in a restaurant. They don't flaunt. because they know what they have, but they also understand where they came from.
But that's different. Like the rich people here, and if, for example, you go to Toronto or Vancouver or New York, it's a different type of rich,
Yeah,
right? Here, the rich people are less posers than from the big capitals, big cities,
yeah,
right? Like, and I've trained a few, like, for example, like Paul. So do you remember Paul,
yeah.
the Indian guy? Filthy rich, like
Stupid rich.
filthy rich.
Yeah.
But he was living in Royal Oak, right? And because, but multi-millionaire. But the guy, we couldn't tell he was that rich until when it's time to just renew his personal training contract, right?
Yeah,
He had to drop like $38,000 for him and his wife to train for the whole year,
yeah.
just like just because,
Whatever. Yeah, he knows
right?
it's good for him. So
Yeah. I'm grateful for coming to Alberta. I think was the right move, right? At the time, financially, Nova Scotia was more appealing because it was cheaper
yes,
than here.
yeah,
But I didn't put in perspective the cost of living there would be almost the same as here,
yep,
but making less money.
yep, yeah. I don't know what life is like in Nova Scotia or even in the Maritimes, but I do hear the odd time that people do struggle. I mean, people are struggling
Yeah,
across the board, but I feel like
yeah.
they struggle a little bit more because they the cost of everything is so much higher, and they're still making the same amount of money, and it's just, yeah, that part really really sucks.
Oh yeah, that's the downside. It's a pretty place, but I don't think I would be able to have everything that I have today if I was there.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
very true.
I'm no rich guy, but what I'm saying is I couldn't afford the things that I afforded.
Yeah,
The last few years of my life if I was in Nova Scotia.
yeah. So then you coached and trained for in Calgary for like what,
Shit, man.
like 10, 15, not 10, it was 10
10
plus.
years.
Yeah.
10 years. 10 years.
And then
10 years in Calgary.
and then COVID happens, and somewhere along the way, along with many of us that kind of saw the writing on the wall,
Yeah.
is that you realized, I don't want to fucking be here. This is stupid. This is a shit show. I don't want to listen to this BS.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a crazy. If you really think about it, this is like a made-for-TV movie that you're like, okay, kids, what we're gonna do is we're gonna
Yeah.
charter a plane, and then we're gonna fly to Montana on a private plane. We're gonna pack up the dogs and all of our main essentials, and we're going to take this plane and we're going to land in Montana, where there's going to be an RV waiting for us. And we're going to take this RV and we're going to do a crazy road trip from Montana through
All the way to
Mexico
Belize.
all the way down to Belize. And we're going to live there for X amount of time.
Yeah. That was pretty much it.
Like, so kind of tell me, like, how did you arrive from being like, okay, this COVID is bullshit. They're a bunch of lying bastards, and I'm out. This is it. Family is the most, that, like, they mean more to me than
Yeah.
anything. I got to get them out of here because I don't know what's going to happen. Next thing you know, that they turn the farm next to me into a holding area for human beings that are getting arrested for not getting the jab,
Yeah.
because that was a
Yeah.
real possibility.
Yeah. No,
And
like,
so yeah, so kind of tell me how you went from uh-oh to out of here.
yes. So what happened is I always been a guy with no roots, right? I lived in so many places. I moved so many times. And I always knew I can't set roots in a place for too long,
Yeah.
right? I go where the opportunities are, right? So since the COVID hit, not only the business was suffering, but people in general were suffering. Like, people, they're turning their backs on us, like calling the police on us. like people that have been with us for so many years, and then out of the sun, my gym becomes a threat to society,
Huh.
right? Because some people decided to get vaccinated, some people didn't, and I respect both. I respect both.
Yeah,
I
it's a choice.
respect you because you had the choice to get yourself vaccinated, but so and so had the choice not to get vaccinated. I was one of them, right? And then you know what happened, or like when the COVID hit, everybody was pointing fingers to each other, and you know, people went flipped 180 degrees completely,
Totally.
and people were different. And with my business being first thing to go was gym,
Yeah.
right? And then close the gyms. Oh no, we have to separate everybody. Oh no, you cannot sweat anymore, so you cannot have a cardio equipment. That was
It's the dumbest reasoning on the planet.
yes, that was just too fucking dumb. And then of course all that open close open close open close. My bills didn't stop coming.
Yep.
Right? Our rent, still had to pay the rent. I still had to pay the royalties for the gym. I still had to pay the insurance. I still have to pay water, electricity, all that crap didn't stop coming.
Yep.
And we still like, and I could not charge my clients because I wasn't delivering the a service. Even though everybody said, Daniel, don't stop charging me. And I said, but I have to because I'm not delivering a service.
Yeah. No, yeah,
That was
that's integrity.
that was integrity, exactly. And so even though they want, it wasn't making a difference for them, the $100 whatever a month, but it was making a difference for me because, of course, if they stop paying, my revenue decreases, and I have to take that pay into my savings. But the gym costs me almost 20K every month.
Yeah.
No questions asked. Before I break even, I have to spend 20K, right? Because just in rent alone was 15, right? And the other five was between groceries and, oh no, grocery, like the bills and stuff, right?
Yep. The
Like
other overhead.
flat fee before anything, just the overhead. And I told Rebecca, and Rebecca, I said, fuck it, let's close this. And then there was a little bit of, we didn't want to feel like we're bankrupt, going bankrupt or anything. But I said to Rebecca, to my wife, and I said, hey, we have to stop this bleeding because it's going to go into our savings, and we worked really hard for it,
Yep.
right? So let's sell everything. Let's close when it's time. It took us about almost 6 months to fully close because the shit started in March. We didn't close until the end of August,
Okay.
right? Because I had to wait for everybody's contracts to be finished before we closed the gym,
Yeah.
right? And then there was a few people that of course, I owe 2-3 months of contract, whatever, and they said, Daniel, like, don't even worry about it. But that's me. I had to pay it. I had to me. All right. But anyways, and then we closed the gym. We sold 75% of the equipment. And then the other rest, I put it away in a container with the in mind. In the future, if things get better, I might be able to open up a studio again. I have enough equipment to open up a studio.
Yeah.
And but when I we went to Belize, and then we stayed there for almost 4 years. That was a blast. We drove down. That was fun. And like you said, I took a charter plane to Montana because the thing is, I bought the RV here. I because we didn't have the vaccine cards, we couldn't cross the border. And the problem with the vaccine card wasn't the United States side, was the Canadian
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Because when we got to Montana, they could give two shit about vaccine cards.
They didn't care.
They could give two shit, right? And then we thank God we flew to Montana because flying to Montana was cheaper. There was the five of us plus four dogs
Yeah.
in a plane. It was cheaper than buying tickets for everybody
Wow.
because we end up paying $380 per person in a plane,
That's crazy.
right? So a lot of people, oh my God, yeah, but it's not as expensive as you think it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's not cheap,
Yeah.
but it's not as bad that you would think, right? People say, "Man, that's a private plane." It's, yeah, but you know, we're just going to Montana. It's just like an hour flight, not even, and it was pretty good. And financially, so it made sense because we couldn't cross the border, so we had to fly in a private chart because in private with a private plane flight, sorry, they didn't have to ask for the card, only for public,
Yeah.
right? And so as soon as we got to Montana, and the guy said, "Welcome to the United States." They checked everything. We were just waiting for our trailer to be hauled because it was hauled from here all the way to Billings,
Yeah.
and then we went there and we just waited. Actually, the RV was already waiting for us there. We got the RV and drove down to Belize. That was fun. That was 11 days of sightseeing and all that shit until we got to Belize, and then we stayed in Belize for 3.5 years.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I remember following the road trip because you were posting like almost every day. There were some
Every
days
day.
you looked like death because you were driving so much.
Well, there was days that I drove for straight 14 hours.
That's crazy.
Only stopped to put gas and take a quick leak, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Truck
Everybody
truck
everybody
drivers
else.
don't even do
Yeah.
that.
So we drove. I drove almost 6,000 kilometers in 11 days. It could
Wow.
be less. It could be less because we stopped sightseeing and then we stayed in a few places and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
there was 5,800 kilometers in 11 days.
And then for those 11 days, how did Rebecca and the kids handle that as this like big adventure?
It was a big adventure. Like they were concerned, right? Especially because all the stories we hear about Mexico, blah blah blah, and all that shit. Mexico is dangerous. They're gonna kidnap you. Eh, it is. It's not safe.
Yeah.
If you don't speak Spanish, it'll be a struggle. So I speak Spanish, and then I was able to talk to the guys. People say, "Oh, the narcos, you have to pay bribes. You have to pay anything, right? If you treat people with decency, they will treat you decencies back." And we got stopped about a handful of times, and believe it or not, the cartel treat us better than actually the nationalities.
Isn't that funny? I've heard
It is
actually
fun.
I've
Yeah,
heard interesting stories about people getting treated better by the cartel members than and not being worried about being around drug cartel members, but then they come back to the US and they're worried about standing beside a liberal protester and they're worried for their life because they're more unpredictable. Like
yeah,
that there's something to be said about that. That's crazy.
yeah. And it was fun. Like, of course, I won't recommend driving through Mexico. I don't think it's for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world, but it's not for everybody. I'll tell you this. Of course, speaking the language helps a lot, even though I'm not from Mexico. But I look like more like them than I'm more like here,
Yes.
right? And and then I said like they came to talk and say, hey, I told the kids and then Rebecca say, if someone talks to you, say no hablo español,
Yeah.
right? They said I don't speak Spanish, and they came into the RV, they came looking around. I talked to the guy, and I treat the guy. I even joke with him. The moment they realized I was Brazilian, everything changed because of the soccer, all the stuff.
Ah,
That's one of
yeah.
the reasons I had the Brazilian flag as a license plate in front too,
Yeah.
right? Because it breaks the ice. The moment you say I'm not a gringo, right? And if, oh, where you from? And say I'm from Brazil. Oh, brasileño, and then everything changes, right? Like we're cousins. So yes, we're cousins.
Yes, yes.
We're cousins. But we there was a nice experience. Of course, we were luckier than other people. Unfortunately, a lot of people who cross Mexico, they if you treat people wrong, they're gonna treat you back wrong.
Yep.
If you treat people right, they're gonna treat you back right, right? No matter what. And but if you treat people like a dick, don't expect roses,
Yeah.
right? And then I was just talking to them like walking around barefoot like everybody else, right? So this helps breaks the ice.
Yeah.
Even in a situation like cartels are in your car checking everything you have, the moment you talk to them like you're talking to a regular person, everything changed. I didn't have to pay bribes. They didn't have to destroy anything. I never felt my life was threatened, not even once. Of course, Rebecca was more afraid because she's not used to kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was born in Brazil. That's we see this kind of stuff more often.
Yeah.
So it helped being born in Brazil, seeing things that you guys here are not don't see every day. It helped me how to react and how to respond at that situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Some
Not saying that it's going to be the same to everybody.
street education. There's big value in understanding how the streets work, but then also understanding if you're just respectful, if you're just
Yeah,
nice, you talk to people, 9 times out of 10, that's the golden ticket right there. Is just talking to them, jokes and asking them where they're from and like just basics.
I use that exact the same thing I used to get clients a good life. You talk to people,
Yeah.
right? If you try to sell something, if they don't know you, they won't like you. If they don't like you, they don't trust you. How can you? They can buy anything from you. So what you do, you first develop that relationship, develop rapport, and then you go from there,
Yeah.
right? But same thing I use for with the cartels. I talk to them like I was talking to like a buddy. You know, they saw I was concerned, but I wasn't afraid
Yeah.
because it's an animal. If you show fear to an animal, most likely you're gonna get attacked.
Yeah. Healthy respect.
Exactly. It's all about respect, right? And you have to know how to not. You have to learn your boundaries, right? And learn the person's boundaries,
Yeah.
right? And thank God, on the way back, it was a cartel who helped us when my tires blew up in the middle of
Oh yeah,
nowhere.
yeah. I remember that. I remember that on the
On the way back, we were 42 miles to the nearest village, the nearest town,
yeah.
and then just 35 minutes ahead of us, there was a turf war between the cartel, the Sinaloa cartel, and Tomalapico cartels. They were like literally shooting each other. There was like on broad daylight in the middle the highway there, and but there was a cartel who helped me to find the two tires, who drove me around to get the tires, and they didn't expect any payments.
Wow.
The only thing I gave them was ginger ale. They've never tried before, you know.
That's funny.
But that's the thing. Like we spent 4 days in a little village called Baraundas in near Veracruz in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
If it wasn't for those guys who put us in a little hostel there and who drove us, basically followed us, they were the one who got for me the tires. They were the one who got the mechanic to come to the place to change the tires and everything, right?
Crazy.
And they secured us because like they radios the guys ahead of us. Hey, there's a RV like this. Don't touch them. They're ours.
Yeah.
We went all the way back to the United States. Not even one issue.
Wow. Yeah, there's not a lot of people
So
that can say that, to be able to say that they can
yeah,
do that and then, be able to come out on the other side totally safe.
and it's funny thing is like we were more concerned going to Mexico because we didn't know.
Yep.
On the way back, I was totally fine.
Yep.
I was ready to put Rebecca and the kids in the plane from Belize, and I would drive Belize to back to Canada all by myself, or to the United States all by myself, and then reunite with them in US.
Yep.
But the last minute, Rebecca, oh, I want to come, I want to come, I want to come. I'm glad they came because there was a nice trip. And well, like I said, I was less worried than on our way there,
Yeah.
right? So
So
it
then,
was fun.
so you were in Brazil for three-ish years. Lots of fishing, lots of ocean time. You guys
Oh my
built
god,
you guys built a huge pond with all these different fish in there.
ponds! I had several ponds in there.
The kids must have
Yeah,
just had a blast. Just
going to going to the beach every day, going fishing every day,
yeah,
eating fresh food every single day.
yeah,
Like I missed the nice weather.
I bet.
Even though when you had the hurricanes and stuff, but the area where we were in Belize, it was an area kind of technically protected from the environment.
Yeah.
Of course, don't get me wrong, we had the Hurricane Lisa going by, but our area didn't get as affected because it was protected by the islands, the bay, and the shallow bay. The bay was very shallow,
Okay.
so the hurricane never got enough strength to destroy anything. Of course, we got some 100 something kilometers an hour
Yeah.
winds, but wasn't as bad as other places in Belize.
Yeah.
Right. But that was fun. No, Belize was really nice. Uh, the quality of food, the quality of the products, like you can't go wrong with that, man.
Yeah. It's real
You like
food.
you, the real food. Like you have chicken tacos, like three chicken tacos for 75 cents. Like you can't go wrong with that.
It's $15 here if you're lucky.
No,
18.
yeah, you can't go wrong. And raw milk. There's one thing I missed was the
Uh,
raw milk.
you got to find yourself a
Like
raw milk dealer in Calgary.
full on raw milk. We got from the Mennonites. Lots
Yep.
of Mennonites in Belize.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, lots of it. And I'll tell you that best milk ever, man. Milk,
Crazy.
beef, everything, like vegetables. Believe it or not, the only thing that was actually expensive there was potatoes.
Potatoes.
Yeah,
Huh.
potatoes. At least in Corozal, because our potatoes came from Mexico, majority of it,
Yeah.
and so the potatoes weren't very cheap. But other than that, food wise, oh my god, like you buy avocados like the size of a coconut. We had four types in our backyard.
Yeah.
Actually, in our backyard, we had 17 fruits, different type of fruits.
Wow.
There was some fruits that I've never seen before, even I've never seen before. I forgot the sapotilla, whatever the name of the fruit. They're delicious, by the way. But like all the stuff that I had growing up, my kids were able to experience in
Oh,
Belize
yeah. 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 Yeah.
because Belize reminds me of Brazil back in the 80s,
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
right? So that's how behind Belize is,
Yeah. So their
right?
infrastructure is still the same as
Oh
what it
my
would have
god,
been back then, but then they have the technology. Well, they have cell phones.
yes. But Belize, for example, there's only 400,000 people in the entire country. They don't have a movie theater in the entire country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how small it is, right?
Holy.
They don't have McDonald's in the entire country.
Yeah. Good.
The only franchise, American franchise that I've seen there was Shell, Texaco, all like Acton, all those kind of stuff. That's pretty much it,
Wow.
right? So the thing about Belize being behind was able to live a real life,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like for example, I show the kids the both sides of. They have rich people there, but they have people who only have one meal a day,
Yeah.
right? And the thing is, a lot of people there. Well, technically, people they're only gonna go hungry if they really want to, because there's tons of fishing there. There is tons of fruits everywhere. You can go fish, so you don't go hungry in a place like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always something to get.
Yeah, there's always something to get. Like there's always a fruit hanging out of someone's yard, and people don't care about that as
Yep.
long as you don't go in the yard,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And but there was a good lesson for the kids. There they were able to learn. You were able to be happy with very little.
yeah,
It's not like the entitled society we have here. All the kids are already entitled because I want this. I because you owe me this.
yeah,
Not doesn't happen to Belize,
yeah.
right?
You don't need all
Belize
that
is
stuff.
different. Exactly. I show the kids. Like, see, they're happy with nothing.
Yeah.
They're happier, right? Kids that they don't take medication for anxiety and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So there's a lot of man-made problems that we have here. They don't have it down there because they don't have the time for that. They're more in a survival mode, right? And they don't have time to have a panic attack or have an anxiety attack
yeah. There's
or
work to be done.
stuff like. They, if you don't, you're gonna starve. You're not gonna have food in your at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? So they have no time for that, right? And then if a kid start acting out there, the mom just give like a good smack,
Yep.
and it stops right away. Even though in a poor country, I've never seen kids so respectful. Mr. This, Miss that, may I, excuse me, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Like I've never had an issue with like we have here. Like here, kids are disrespected. They have no respect for authority.
Yeah. It's all
There,
it's
oh
all, "Hey."
yeah,
It's all, um, "I want that."
yeah, right. So there was a great thing going to Belize, right? Because our kids are able to learn both sides of the moon, right?
Yeah,
They've seen the dark side. That's living in Belize with basically nothing. Things are not as easy to get like we have here. Amazon same day delivery.
yeah,
Like they don't have that kind of shit there,
yeah,
right?
yeah. If you want that, you're either gonna have to go somewhere else to get it, or you're gonna wait a
Yeah,
long time for it to ship.
and you pay for it.
Yes. Yeah.
I trust me. I paid almost 3 times more to get shipped stuff there because they couldn't get in Belize. I was like, oh, fuck. Things that I could get here for $15 was arriving in Belize for 100,
Yeah. Jeez.
right? But that's the thing. Like when you go to Belize, you have to leave all the expectation, all the bad behaviors, all the easy things behind
Yeah,
because ain't gonna happen there. You're gonna have a peaceful life, but you're not gonna have all the easiness
yeah, the convenience.
you would the convenience
Yeah,
you would have if you're being here.
yeah. You want a nice piece of fish for dinner, you're not necessarily gonna go and just get it from the grocery store. You're gonna grab your
No,
fishing rod, and you're gonna go and get it.
yeah, and you can choose what kind of fish you want.
Yeah,
Do you want a lobster? Do you want a conch? Do you want a prawns? Do you want a freshwater fish, or do you want an ocean water, saltwater fish?
yeah,
Right? You choose there. That's the thing. And there you can live. A family of five can live in a $2,500 a month, uh, 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 budget,
yeah, and live comfortably.
inc- including rent, everything.
Yeah,
You can live on a $2,500 budget if you want to. Of course, you're not gonna have you're gonna pay gas is expensive there. Car are expensive. Electronics in general are like expensive.
yeah.
But everything else, it's dirt cheap. We're living by the beach there and only paying $400 a month.
That's crazy.
Three suites. Everybody had a room and a bathroom in a house.
Jeez.
right in front of the ocean.
Yeah. There's houses in Kelowna here to be right on the beach and to have a house, let's just say a 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom house right on the beach. That's a $3 million house. And it's a piece of crap.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told Rebecca, like, Canada is nice, but I miss the old days here in Canada. I missed it. I missed 2008,
Yeah.
2009, right?
Yeah. When it
I
felt normal.
when it felt normal.
Yeah. Now it's a clown
But
show.
I'll tell you this: we were in the United States for the last 6 months
Yeah.
before we came here.
Yeah. Cause you
We're
went
in Tennessee.
Belize, you did a
Yeah,
little, I think, didn't you go to
we did.
Orlando?
We went to Disney. We did a big
Yeah.
trip there.
And then you went back
We end
to
up, yeah,
Tennessee. Yeah.
we went back to Tennessee, and actually we went all the way to Tennessee, down to Florida, back to Tennessee, and then we drove up. But anyways, being in Tennessee, it's like you're living in a bubble because you're not. The economy is good. Price of things are dirt cheap. You don't see anybody fighting over politics
Yeah.
there. Everybody's happy because they have jobs to choose for, right? And very safe place, clean, very clean, and people very helpful and friendly, super friendly. Like everywhere, people afternoon. Like I was like, and then when I come here, it's the completely opposite. People are angry, bitter, like stressed out. It's just like and bitching about everything. Oh, you see what's United States doing? I was like, no, man. I was there. Everything seems fine there.
Yeah.
I was there for the last 6 months.
Yeah. They don't care about what goes on in Canada.
No, they could give to shit.
Yeah.
They could give to shit. But that's the thing. Like when people don't choose their leaders properly, you have to pay the price.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to pay the price. We're in an era right now here in Canada where it's the hydrant pissing on a dog. It's not the other way around,
Yeah.
right? And I told Rebecca, the first opportunity I have, we're out again, unless we separate and become United States, so I don't have to leave anymore.
Alberta becomes the 51st state.
Yeah, the fifth first state.
Then you'll be
I have
laughing.
no problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no problem. I just drive down because it's warm. Other than that,
And so you
no. But
you eventually, because you spent what, 6 months in Tennessee?
6 months in Tennessee. So it took us 8 months to when we left Belize to get back home here.
Yeah.
So we're 8 months because we spent a couple weeks in Mexico, 6 months in almost 7 months in the United States, and then we took our time driving through Canada, right?
Yeah.
And
And then
but
back in you're in Airdrie again.
I'm in Cochrane. I'm in
Cochrane.
Cochrane right now.
Cochrane. Okay.
Cochrane.
And then somewhere in the mix of all this, you became a soccer scout, a player manager, and
Yeah.
and then you started running your own podcast to kind of feed into the whole the soccer world. So yeah, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, so I always, like I said, I always loved soccer as a Brazilian. It's our part. It's part of our religion, right?
It is your
But
religion.
anyways, it is a religion. It is because they go crazy about it. But anyways, we, I always had friends in soccer. I have a lot of friends who are former players, now they're coaches, and then some of them are agents and stuff like that. And they always tell me the stories that things like the horror stories, right? Oh, so and so got scammed and this and this and this. So and so lost all his money because of a bad agent or because of a bad deal with a team, whatever. And I always liked to be in soccer, but I always knew I'm not going to play anymore. How? So that's why I never even bothered.
Yeah.
But now, the last 2 years, 3 years, the analytical part of soccer became permanent.
You know, it's either a market analyst or a data analyst for soccer, for all this kind of stuff. And then I said, okay, I like that kind of shit, right? So now they have courses for it. I'm just gonna put one together, right? So I did my first course, and was okay. It was as good as I thought it would be, but I didn't know, right? So I started to, you know, get to know people, doing the podcast to get to know more people, and then I started working for a few teams and agencies doing just scouting, all right, scouting players here and there, and we end up, you know, I found a few players. They sent them to Europe. I got some commission, and then I started doing this, and then start get, to get to know more people. And people say, Daniel, like you know a lot of people, you have a good work ethic. You should do your own things instead of making money for others. And it's like, okay. I finished. Now I have 8 courses under my belt, right? And I'm next year. I'm gonna go for FIFA agent.
Oh,
That's
yes.
the yeah. So I'm gonna become a FIFA agent. I'm already actually doing a course. So I have my tests in June next year. Only happens once a year. And but that's what I'm doing now. Of course, I still have a few clients. They're training with me still,
Yeah.
but my day it's fulfilled with calls and talking to players and agents and teams and stuff like that. Especially right now, the season starts in January, so the teams are getting ready now, right?
So they're just getting ready for their season.
Yeah, because it starts in January. January is 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have only November, December to reassemble teams. Some of the clubs are starting from scratch. They don't even have a coach. It's just like a shit show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a shit show. But and then I decided to become the middleman, right? I don't want to be the player. I don't want to be the coach or the team. I'm just a guy who gets you know someone to point A to point B, and
Okay.
then we make commission out of it.
Yeah, that's
But I have a few players signed up with me already.
okay.
So I opened up my own company. I have my own agency now,
Yeah.
and then they sign with me, and then I'm their representative now.
Okay. And then you just charge them basically a percentage kind of thing. Just normal
Percent,
normal
yeah,
management fees or whatever it might be.
yeah, yeah. It's usually the average is about 10% of. It depends on the level of the player.
Yeah.
You can make money monthly based on their salary, or if you're selling someone, for example, I'm going to sell, for example, Daniel to Real Madrid, right? And as his agent, I have 50% of his soccer rights. Let's call right his rights, and I will maintain 10%. My 40% I will sell to the club, my share. The player also has a share. So basically, it's like it's the team, the player, and the agent
Yeah.
who splits the 100%,
Okay.
right? So usually a player has zero, and the agent has 50%, and the club, the team has 50%, right? And the salary of the player it's 100% to him.
Yeah.
Some players decide to have a percentage of their rights, the they call the uh, soccer rights, right? And then, for example, the club has 50%, 30% it's for the agent, 20% is the player, right? There's so many ways to make money that way. For example, if a player it has a really good salary, we make 10%. Because, for example, I'm going to take you from Good Life to bring to the team Gold's Gym. You make, for example, $1,000 a month in Good Life, but I'm gonna get you to make 5,000
Yeah.
at a Gold's Gym. But out of those 5,000, I'm gonna keep 1,000. The other 4,000 is yours. And then if I bring you to a different gym, that gym is gonna pay the fee to bring you, over to their team.
I will make also 10% on top of
Okay.
the sales.
right? So it's almost like a pyramid scheme. Everybody's gonna make money at somehow,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I call pyramid scheme, but not in a not in a bad way.
Yeah, it's like
Like
a hierarchical sort of structure. You're not wrong in calling it a pyramid scheme because having a regular job is the true pyramid scheme. So
it is, yeah, it is, right? So it's like this. You make your salary, but the government takes a portion, whatever takes a portion, and then all those cuts goes to pay something or someone,
yeah, yeah,
right? So for in the case in my agency, it's about when I sign up with a player, right? And the player is a free agent.
yeah.
I sign it. I keep 50% of the player's rights, soccer rights. The player's gonna keep the whole salary, but I'll keep 50% of whatever revenue he generates coming from the club, because the club's gonna pay a fee to have him,
Yeah.
a signing fee, basically. It's a bonus. That bonus comes to me, doesn't go to the player,
Okay.
because I'm not tapping on his salary,
Yeah.
because his salary is it's too low. So I rather him to be happy to have his full salary, but that bonus stays with me.
Okay.
So every time I bring a player to sign to a club, there's a signing fee,
Yeah.
right? So let's call the signing fee or bonus, whatever you want to call it. That signing fee, depending on the contract, it's either split by the agent and the player, or it stays with the agent.
Okay.
Because if it stays with 100% with the agent for the signing fee, it's because the agent doesn't make any money out of the player's salary. If the agent makes a money already out of the player's salary, they usually split the signing fee,
Yeah.
right?
So it at the end of the day, everybody makes money.
Yeah. And then when you get your FIFA designation, that's just going to open up things a little bit more.
Yes,
Yeah.
because and then I can represent my player in any place in the world.
Yeah.
Not only I don't have to be specific. For example, only dealing with the Brazil.
Yeah.
Right. Right now, I only deal with Brazilian players. Right. And as a FIFA agent, I can go to other countries, or I can have other, because a lot of agencies, they have their agents, but not everybody's a FIFA agent.
Yeah.
So you want to have a FIFA agent with you or in partnership with you, because opens doors in other countries.
Because you could get one of your players from Brazil that you currently manage. And if there's a big opportunity for them to say, go play for Spain, then you
Yeah,
can send them to Spain through your FIFA designation. And I can definitely see how that would open up a
yeah.
lot more.
So what happened is this license, I won't need a middleman in those countries anymore.
Oh, okay. So it's you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it could be me, instead of having like a middleman of the middleman. I'm cutting all that.
Yeah.
And it is not easy, neither easy or cheap. It's very expensive and not easy to get in. So that's why they only do the test once a year.
Ah,
So they
okay.
give a whole year to prepare, because
Okay.
it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of legal things.
I bet. Yeah. Well, you're dealing with an international based organization and there would be a lot of intricacies. So,
Yeah. Just to do the test, just to do the test alone is $600.
okay. And then how long is the test?
US. That's 1 hour.
1 hour?
And and you have to hit 90% of the questions right.
So yeah.
It's not easy.
Wow. That's yeah. For to like cuz I'm in plumbing right now and you need 70% to pass every level, and there's guys who were scoring so well through school that they didn't even have to show up for their final.
Oh
So,
wow.
which is kind of like, it's kind of silly because you're paying all this money and spending all this time going through school, and then to not show up for your final is kind of, it's kind of silly, little ego driven, but whatever. Some guys do that, so they still become plumbers. So then,
Exactly.
how do you, because you're dealing with international time zones, so how do you balance all of that with still coaching and training clients on the side, and then also running this business, and then trying to maintain some semblance of family life?
It is not. Not easy at all. So it's hard. Even though I work from home, but I'm here in my basement right now, and all day. Sometimes I get out of the basement, and my kids, oh, you're still alive. It looks like like the beast coming out of the cage,
Yeah.
or like the dark
Yeah,
cave and shit.
the bear out of hibernation.
Yeah, the bear hibernation. But it is hard. Thank God the kids are homeschooled, so I have more contact
Yeah,
with them. But it is not easy.
yeah,
It's a lot of time on the phone, it's a lot of time on the computer, and for me, it's a complete different mentality because before I was always walking around.
yeah.
Now I'm in front of the computer for 10 hours a day,
Sheesh, that's a big difference.
right?
Oh,
But it is fun, and it's a very different from what I've done before.
yeah,
But I'll tell you that it is fun. It is fun because it's something I like to do.
yeah. Yeah, you don't
Right?
really feel like you work, kinda. I mean, it's a lot of time spent, but,
Yeah.
because it's something that you love and that you've, practiced this religion since you were a kid, that, there's probably moments where you don't feel like you really
Yeah.
work.
Oh yeah. And then regarding the times, yes, I deal with all time zones.
Yeah.
Like for example, this morning I was already dealing with someone in Cambodia.
Oh, wow.
I have guys in Cambodia. I have guys in Indonesia. Two in Thailand,
Yeah,
right? And Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. Like you have those guys playing in those time zones,
yeah,
and then sometimes when they call me, it's already morning there. It's evening here,
yeah.
right? The guys in Cambodia, they're 13 hours ahead, right? So in Brazil, they're 3 hours ahead, and it really depends. Sometimes I get people calling me 3 o'clock in the morning here, and it's already 4 in the afternoon in Cambodia,
Wow.
right? And then sometimes I wake up and oh shit, then I'm so sorry, I forgot. It's still 3 o'clock in the morning there. Yeah, fuck. But it is challenging.
Yeah.
It is challenging.
Yeah, because you're
But
pretty much on call the whole time, right?
the whole time,
Yeah.
the whole time, the whole time. But people already kind of get to know. A lot of people didn't realize I was in Canada. People say, "Oh shit, I thought you were in Brazil this whole time." It's nope. I haven't been to Brazil for 8 years. So that's the thing. But it is a lot of work. But like I said, when you do something that you like, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, like, when you when you find that, like, days get really crazy, or, all these different things going on in your life that are really busy and crazy, what are some things that you do to kinda, like, chill yourself out? Because before we had, like, the gym and, we go for workouts, stuff like that, but, what
Mhm.
kind of things do you do now?
To tell the truth, with the kids being home, I just go play with them.
Yeah.
Just go talk to them to see how they're doing, what they're doing. Sometimes we can maybe go out, for to a park or to do something with them
Yeah.
because they're going too fast, man. Right.
Yeah.
So the more time I can spend with them, because right now they're still very impressionable by me, but there'll be one time they won't. What we say won't matter anymore, right? Because they already belong to the world, right?
Yeah.
But I just take advantage because all those times of working so many hours and stay away from the kids, it's really hard. Like for me, going to Argentina right now, I'm gonna be having a hard time because I'm gonna be there by myself,
Yeah.
right? And I've been there once, but I never left Buenos Aires. I went to a course, and I was like a block and a half from the hotel.
Yeah.
Was a course and back 3 days there and then gone. Right, so I didn't really explore. So now I'm gonna go to a place where I only know one guy there, right? And that'll be me, myself, and I.
Hopefully it's not for
Right.
too long.
I hope not. But like I said, like when I have moments like this, stress, and sometimes you hit a roadblock and shit. Like you're so stressed, yeah, your mind's so full of stuff that you can't resolve. Sometimes I say, you know what, I'll take a break and I go play with the kids. You know, go drink something, water, or eat something to get back to work. But I usually just hang out with the kids or get yelled by my wife, and the usual.
So
The usual.
with all the like the different things that you've been through, the traveling and the just the different jobs, and
Mhm.
what has that kind of taught you about life?
I'll tell you this. Life is just too fucking short, man. To to waste with things that's out of your control, right? I used to get so stressed out. Good life too.
Yeah.
When people could not be the basics, just didn't have the basics of work ethic or the drive. Like for example, you and I, we always the top hours there. Why? Because we had kids, we had to pay bills,
Yeah.
right? We had our lives, and then when I see other kids there, the only thing they care about was if they have a six pack. So that having a business, moving around, it showed me, of course, the more mature you get, less friends you have.
Yep.
You not less friends you have. You become pickier,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
right?
true.
And then one thing I learned, I'm not gonna stress over stuff that's not controlled by me.
Yeah.
I can't. Even though it will bug me, but I will not waste my energy in things that I cannot change.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only gonna worry about stuff that can be changed and can be changed by me or influenced by me,
Yeah.
right? Direct or indirectly. Other than that, I just say fuck the world now.
Yeah.
I don't take care of what's mine. Like mine. Everything I have a reach. Things and people. If you are within that circle, awesome. If you're not, I'm not gonna fight over people. Oh, come, you know, let me no. I don't like so that's I will not stress over things that not controlled by me anymore.
Yeah.
I can't because I will go crazy trying to change the world to in a perspective that works for me,
Yeah.
right? So I tell Rebecca, okay, we can plan for our future, yes, but I'm not gonna be worried if I didn't make a sale today.
Yeah.
I just have to worry. I have to make two sales tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? So that's how it works. Before, if I didn't make a sale today, I'll be stressed out, and then I'll be so stressed out because I didn't get that sale. Instead of getting two the next day, because I'm still pissed because the sale that I lost the day before, I'm going to end up losing the sale the next day
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're hung up on
because
it.
I hung up on it. I can't focus. So if I cannot resolve what we're already past, if I can fix it tomorrow, I will fix it. But if I can't, screw it. move on to the next.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not gonna be hanging on to things anymore. Like I used to do before. I think this whole COVID thing, it taught me a really good lesson
Yeah.
of not stressing, not worrying about things that cannot be changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
Right.
you can't change it all. I mean, when you've got so many other powers that be that are making decisions that are trying to force their hand or force your hand,
Yeah.
you can choose not to follow, and that's okay.
Exactly. And it's totally fine. But what I don't like, it's the people, right? How people are. People changed, man. This last 4 years, it's different,
Yeah, people have gotten meaner. They've gotten
crazier.
cynical and skeptical, and everybody thinks that somebody's out to get them. And like the list of things that I've seen, you know, I've seen families break apart because somebody wouldn't choose to get the vaccination. And I see people getting demonized because they have a counter opinion to the news, or it's crazy. I know people that got the vaccination, and I'm still friends with them. And like it's there's just some things that just didn't matter. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. It's rampant. You heard so many different types of crazy stories during that time, and a lot of it just came down to influence.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like pick your poison. Pick who you want to listen to. Follow some of your values. Hold still to those values and those things that you truly believe that are actually important, and then just everything else be damned.
Yeah. And I tell the kids, learn both sides of the coin,
True.
because you have your convictions, but you have to learn what your opponents or enemies, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you got to know what they're going through too, because you don't get caught by surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to learn both sides. You got to
You
you got to
gotta
ask
learn both sides.
questions.
Exactly.
Yeah, critical
Right.
thinking.
Critical thinking. I tell the kids, you you believe what you believe, but you also got to learn what they believe, because when you come across what's going on in the world, you're going to have the ability of thinking for yourself and see which of the two options works best for you,
Yep.
right? If you want to go right, go right. If you want to go left, go left. But you have the conviction that you choose the right way.
Yep.
But you cannot influence negativity someone who chose the other way. Or you cannot say shit because, Mrs. Jones chose blue and you chose red. Everybody has a choice. The same choice you had to choose red, she had the same choice to choose blue. So you have to, even though you don't like what she chose, but it's her opinion, her will to do that. So if people respect each other's opinions, each other's wish, each other's political view, ideology, whatever the fuck you want to call it, we will be in a better world.
Yeah. Yeah, everything has become so tribal. Like it's a line in the sand. Don't cross it. This is my team. You're not on my team. It's and so say you have this two different people, both of them like chocolate ice cream, but then they won't listen to anybody else that likes vanilla. But then you
Yeah,
take those same two people and they one likes tacos, but the other one likes burritos. Well, now they're on two different teams again. It's
yeah.
it's getting to a point of absurdity. And
And it's getting tiring.
yeah, sometimes I see some snippets on the news or about what's going on, and I'm just like, okay, guys, come is there a break? Is anybody going to take a timeout on this? Because it's getting to be a little much.
Yeah. And then everybody now, no, 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 it's been a while. Everybody has an opinion about everything.
Yeah, yeah, I know I do.
Everybody has an opinion about everything.
Yeah,
everybody everybody has the right to tell you what to do with your money,
Yeah.
to tell what to do with your life. You know what I tell people? I tell people, I tell them, see this little paper here? That's your opinion. I fold very well, and I put that's where I'm going to put your opinion, right? Because like one thing it's to give your opinion, because a critical, constructive criticism, it's one good thing, right? And then when you, if because constructive criticism is not an opinion, it's you see something, you know how that stuff is done, and then if you see someone, if you see Lonnie doing that thing, but there's one little mistake, because if it fix that, you're gonna get the engine, all the parts to move with harmoniously. And then I can say, Lonnie, like if you just turn a little bit to the right, that little thing there, everything's gonna be, you should try this way. That's a constructive criticism,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm not giving you my opinion of you should doing that. I'm giving my opinion because that one is the best way to perform better that thing.
Yeah.
But if I come to you and say, hey, Lonnie, you know what, you're doing wrong, that I don't think it's right. I'm still pointing to the wrong thing, but I'm not giving a solution,
Yeah.
right? So that's opinion. When you give something, you show something, you criticize something in a constructive way, and you show a solution, that's a good opinion. That's help. But you want to just to say shit, I rather you to keep your mouth shut,
Yeah.
right? But that's the problem. Everybody has an opinion, regardless if it's right or wrong, right?
Part-
Instead of tell people to help to move on with that problem and bring a solution. No, they just have to point the obvious, right? And then say, "See, you're wrong." Well, so I know I'm fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So
Part
let's find the
too many participation awards were handed out.
so that's the problem. Like the whole world, it's upside down. Like my grandpa always said, you're entering an era where it's the hydrant pissing on the dog, not the dog pissing on the hydrant.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of confusion because
Too many.
it's just, yeah, it's a lot. So I guess with like, because you deal with a lot of young players, so like how do you help manage them through stuff like that? I mean, it's one thing for your kids because your kids, they're going to see you as kind of like an authority on a lot of different things, and they, of course, they're going to learn some stuff along the way. But you've got some strong and positive influence on how they learn. But then when you've got younger men who are out there living in the world, playing soccer, and kind of being a young adult, so like what how do you help them out?
Well, I deal with them the same way I did with all my clients my entire career. I tell them I rather a hard truth than a sweet lie. I tell them I'm not gonna sugarcoat you. If I see something right, I'll applaud you, tap in the back. Awesome. Maintain that level. But if something's wrong, I'll tell you right away.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be rude. Excuse me. I'm not gonna be dishonest, but I will tell you the truth if it's wrong or right. So, but the thing is, especially with soccer play athletes in general, but soccer players are a breed of people who are, how can I say, not everybody, but hard to deal with, especially the newer generation, because the entitlement, they're too fragile, and then sometimes they don't handle the truth very well.
Yeah.
Why? Because they didn't have that growing up. Because most of those players, they leave home too early to play. So I tell my players and say, hey guys, look, I'm here to help you, right? To be the guy who's gonna knock on doors for you.
I'm going to look for the opportunities. But the only person who can hold the opportunity, it's you.
Hmm.
If you and I said so and so, what we did in the past team, if you keep that shit, you're not gonna go anywhere. But if you do this, you might have a chance.
Yeah.
I will. What I'm telling you right now. It's not because I'm a bad guy or I want to be your father or this and that. I'm talking like someone who believed you, who also putting my reputation in line for you, for to. I'm telling you what I literally told a player 2 days ago, and I said, if you think you already reached your peak, you're very wrong. Right? That's one thing that Pedro Sculian always said, and I always took with me. You don't think you already reached the peak. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
There's always room for improvements. Right? There's always something better coming. There's always something better for you to achieve. And I tell the players, if you're gonna keep that bullshit that you had before, no team is gonna take you. Me and neither do I. I'm not gonna help you anymore. If you really want to focus this, I'm gonna give you a shot. We're gonna forget what happened there, but because what you did there, I wasn't your agent yet.
Yeah.
That kind of shit doesn't fly with me. You want to be honest? I'm being honest with you, and I said I'm going to be transparent, right? So, but if you're always honest with them, you force them to be honest with you,
Yeah. Celebrate the
right?
wins
So,
and coach the opportunities.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And never like because sugarcoating it's doesn't help nobody.
No, true. Like you said, a solid honesty or a sweet lie.
Yeah, I will never give you a sweet lie.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
and I deal with this my kids, everybody, players, clients. I don't care.
yeah, it's funny that the same way that you deal with your clients and the same way that you deal with your kids, there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, because they're gonna throw tantrum. They're gonna do what the fuck they want to do, and I haven't.
They're gonna backtalk. They're gonna act a
Yeah,
fool.
they're gonna throw themselves on the floor and then screaming and then huff and puff.
Final question. Because this podcast is based around why men matter, and a lot of
Mm,
the different things that you talked about is like pretty solid in terms of like simple life lessons, all the different things that you've gone through growing up and lived, and so um, I asked everybody this at the end. Um, and you remember Stephen McMichael, because we both know Stephen McMichael.
yeah.
And when I asked him that question, he was just like, this is going to keep me up at night. This is a tough one. So, I ask, in your opinion, why do men matter?
Well, we do matter because a society without us, it's a dead society, right? We have our strength. Women has their strength, right? And then if everybody focus on their strength, right, there won't be just men matter. Everybody's matter.
Yeah.
Like we've been in an era right now, time right now where there are men being demonized, right? And that's very wrong because we're the ones who put ourselves in the between the bullet and then you know our society. We protect our society. We protect our family. We protect the our loved ones, right? So it's very important to have manly men like old school who believes in their core values. He still believes in family. He still have faith in humanity, right? Because without us, there'll be
Nothing. There'll be no buildings
Yep.
because men are built for one thing. Women are not. I'm not saying that we are not able to do what each other can do, but nobody can nurture someone better than women.
Hmm.
No, nobody can build strength and stuff better than men. We all have our strength and weaknesses, but men do matter because we are the ones who put all the sweat and tears and pride behind us for the benefits of society.
Yep.
So when women say, "Oh, I need no man," yes, you do. You do. You talk like this because you had a faulty relationship with your father, right? So it men do matter. So if you want to get shit done, if you want to get stuff uh, uh, done in a certain way, you're gonna need a man. If you want stuff done in a certain way, with more delicate, more even more intelligent. Because women are smarter than men in so many ways.
Yep.
But there's some other stuff that we're good. So men matter because we can do things that women can't do, and women can do things that men cannot do, and then we both matter. So if we have to stop the society in general have to stop demonizing men because there'll be no humans if there's no men and women.
Yeah. Yeah, we're one side of the
You,
coin.
you,
So
you can't.
that's a good answer. That was a good answer. Oh, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll stop the screen share and all that, and then we can
Yeah.
debrief. But I appreciate you doing this, and I know you're
Oh man.
busy because you got a lot of
No, no.
hats to wear, literally and metaphorically, and I appreciate the
Yeah.
time. And yeah,
No,
and
I appreciate you, man.
hopefully we can do it again when you become
Fuck yeah.
a FIFA big shot. What do you,
Or next year when in Argentina or doing FIFA World Cup. Okay, so many things you can do.
yeah, you're gonna be representing some of the hot shots of soccer, Ronaldo, and
Fuck.
yeah.
I don't want to be the king. I want to be the best friend of the king.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
I'll stop recording
Yeah.
and we'll talk. So